What's up, guys? I'm Laura from Reading in Bed, and this is going to be the About Me tag, not to be confused with 25 or 50 bookish facts or any of the other versions that are going around. This one has 10 questions. It should be quick. And really, I'm doing it because I'm testing out some new audio equipment. Not to get too technical, but it's a microphone. So if you watch me enough to perhaps notice any difference in the audio quality, please do let me know about that, because I've been testing it and so far I can't hear a huge difference. Anyways, 10 questions. The first one is, what do you study or what is your job? Well, I haven't been a student in an awfully long time, so let's not go there. My title at work is Strategic Marketing Coordinator, and I work in the civil service for my city. But really what I do is market research and customer experience research. So, surveys, focus groups, that kind of thing. So that's my job, and that's what I studied for in school too. Question number 2 is, what is your favorite social media channel? So that's a pretty fraught question for me right now. It's Twitter, although I'm not currently on Twitter. I've deactivated my account, and I'm trying hard not to accidentally log myself in, which is easier than you would think, so that I can stay deactivated for 30 days and my account will actually go away. Despite it being my favorite, it's also not good for me. My behavior when I'm on Twitter, not in terms of what I'm posting, I'm not like going on Twitter rants or anything, but just it's just not working for me anymore. So I guess once I'm completely off of Twitter for real, then YouTube will be it, because it's really the last one standing. I've deleted Facebook, Instagram, Twitter's on its way out. Reddit I am still on, but it's not like, it just doesn't, nothing has that same pull that Twitter has. Okay, so YouTube will be it very soon. Question number 3 is, if you had another channel, what would it be about? I think I just wouldn't have one, because to do a channel or a blog or anything like that, you have to both really enjoy something and have something to offer, whether it's expertise or just a unique perspective, or something, right? Or else why are you doing it? And I don't really, like, I have other interests, which I'm going to save for question 5. Obviously I do have other interests, but none of them I think I either like enough or have enough to offer that I would even consider starting another channel, let alone having the time to do so. Question number 4, do you play any instruments? No, but I really am jealous and in awe of people who do, and particularly, like not to downplay people who work very hard and practice and train for music, but people who have that just innate ability to pick up an instrument and play it, that just blows my mind. My husband is one of those people. He plays drums, and well, he is finally, at the age of 40, taking lessons so that he can learn some new styles of drums. Up until about a year ago, he hadn't taken a lesson in his life, but he's played in bands since he was a teenager. And he is the kind of person who can hear a song and then play it. According to him, he'll make mistakes and, he won't get it right. But to the normal listener, he is able to just sit down and play it. I think that's so cool. But no, unfortunately, I don't have any of those talents. Okay, so question number 5 is, what hobbies do you have other than reading? So that's kind of tied to question 3 about what other channel would you have. So I don't think any of my other interests are truly hobbies, because to call something a hobby, I think you have to pursue it in a way that's more than just sort of passive consumption. One thing that I'm interested in is, I don't know what you would call it, like productivity, bullet journals, different ways of organizing, your work life and your personal life. So, I'll read books like Getting Things Done, and I do have a bullet journal, and I've been doing that for like 3 years, but I don't really consider it a hobby. Like it's for me, it's functional. It's a means to an end. It's not just something I'm pursuing because I love it. While I have considered maybe making one video about my bullet journal, because I see, other booktube channels out there doing that, I would never make a full channel or pursue it like a hobby, because my bullet journal is like it looks the same every month. If I made videos every month, they would be the same thing. It's not an art project for me. So that's one. But like I said, I don't really consider it a hobby. And, I can't really call my very sporadic and uneven attempts at like exercising and stuff a hobby. Definitely not. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested, and read things about parenting, but again, like that's not a hobby, in that I don't really have a choice at this point. I am a parent and I have to parent. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I could really classify as a hobby. They're either things that I have to do, or they're very sort of pragmatic things that I'm doing as a means to an end and not just for like pure enjoyment. So yeah, like reading and doing this is what I do for pure enjoyment. So yeah. Okay, so question 6 is favorite TV shows. So kind of related, like while I do watch some TV, I don't watch a lot of TV, and I definitely don't consider it a hobby. The latest show that I got into and binge watched was called Patriot. There's 2 seasons on Amazon Prime. It's kind of a secret agent-ish show. It's like if James Bond had PTSD. I heard someone describe it that way. I didn't come up with that myself. It's not the kind of show I would normally be interested in, but in addition to the sort of tropey secret agent-y stuff, there's a lot of quirkiness as well, and a lot of it is shot on location in Luxembourg, and so a lot of the characters speak French, subtitled of course, but I really enjoyed that, like the look of it, and just all the French language stuff. But probably the best part, I mean, I do like the main character and that actor, but the dad from that 70s show, who even though his name in the show is Leslie, I can't think of him as anyone other than Red. He's in it, and he is sort of the antagonist, kind of, to the main character. Like, he's not an evil person, but he's someone who puts up a lot of barriers, let's say, for the main character. And he's so funny. And even though I can't get the image of him as Eric Foreman's dad out of my mind, he does do a really good job of being this character who's so fussy and so troubled and so angry, and I just keep waiting for him to call someone a dumbass. It's really good. It's also got, I can't remember the guy's name, but one of the guys from Ally McBeal, he's a minor character, but I believe he's like a producer and writes some of the episodes, so if you're old enough to have watched Ally McBeal, that might be of interest. So yeah, Patriot. Other than that, my husband is really pushing me to get into Letterkenny. So, and lots of people have told me I should watch that show, so that might be next. Okay, so question 7 is, what got you into reading? Probably moving to a new city when I was 10 years old and not knowing anyone and not really making any friends. Yeah, I was 10 and I didn't really make any close friends until I was like 13. So that gave me lots of time to just hide behind a book. Question number 8 is, what are your favorite genres? I don't really understand genres, to be honest. I think my favorite genres are historical fiction. A lot of my favorite books just tend to be historical fiction. I also have a lot of love for chick lit, the shopaholic and Bridget Jones variety. But other than that, it's pretty much literary fiction, which is like anti-genre. Did it say least favorite? Yeah, it did. So least favorite, I guess, would be things like thrillers and horror. I think just because you go into them already knowing what the author is trying to do, like they're trying to make you thrilled, I guess, or scared. And there's something about that I don't like. I don't like going in knowing that I'm being like potentially emotionally manipulated by this author. So I just tend to, and then I'm just like looking for things to pick at because I don't like that. But like historical fiction, that's weird that that's a genre because all it is the time it's set in, whereas other genres have to do with the content, or then there's like YA, which is just to do with the age of the characters. Like, that's what I mean. I don't really get genre. So anyway, question number 9, what books defined your childhood? I mean, as a child of the sort of late 80s, well, mid to late 80s, let's be honest. I read a lot of Sweet Valley High and Babysitter's Club, and even my mom's old, Nancy Drew and Trixie Belden and stuff like that. Christopher Pike books. Not really R.L. Stine. I'm a bit too old for that. I tore through a lot of those, but probably the ones, and I've talked about these before, that I would say defined and maybe like set some of my tastes as a reader was V.C. Andrews, which I shouldn't have been reading as a child, but I did. I read an article somewhat recently that proposed that girls in particular that are into V.C. Andrews will end up being into Wuthering Heights, and that's certainly the case for me. It's got all the like gothic stuff and the weird sexual stuff, and probably reading Flowers in the Attic at 10 years old did sort of set the scene for what I'm into now as an adult. My oldest child is 9 right now, so sometimes I do think about what I was reading when I was 10, and I'm just like, oh my God. Anyways, so last question. Okay, number 10 is tell us an interesting fact about you. And I have a problem with this question because the fact that I do this is my interesting fact. Like, I don't have, as we discussed, I don't really have a lot of other hobbies or interests that would be interesting to anyone else. I don't have any weird talents or physical abilities. I work, I have kids, I have a husband. Like, that takes up a lot of time. And even the go-to sort of quote unquote interesting facts that I used to use are very out of date now. Like, I used to be able to say, I'm deathly afraid of driving and don't have my driver's license. Well, I've been driving for 10 years now. Or that both of my children were freakishly large when they were born. Well, they're 7 and 9 and they're pretty much normal size now. And it makes people uncomfortable sometimes to talk about giving birth to very large children. Believe me, it was uncomfortable for me as well. But yeah, like, that's all way in the past. Now, the fact that I'm here and doing this is my interesting fact. So I don't have much else to say. That's it. Tell me how this sounded. I do have a microphone propped up here, and I think it's a little less echoey than usual, but let me know. Thanks for watching.